Hi, welcome to A Safe Place. I'm Tina.
I'm Renee.
And we've just been sitting here talking about what we might talk about, and I think we didn't want to keep going with the heavy stuff because that's very heavy. And I thought maybe we need to look at some of the impact in terms of people fighting with one another. Like that I think in some areas, some families, some communities, some groups, it becomes about if you say something different or you don't like someone, that all of a sudden there's all this fighting that occurs, and it's really just a battle of egos.
Well, it's really come to the fore on the online world because what do they call them? Online cowboys or something?
And trolls. There's so many trolls.
Because they hide behind
the anonymity of the internet.
Yeah, so people are really unleash.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, absolutely. Well, they do it on the online in particular, because that's where it becomes most obvious, but they also do it in their own little communities. So I know of families that have differences of opinion over something that happens. So say someone reports some sort of dysfunction within a family that results in trauma, and all of a sudden, rather than the family coming together, there's a massive split in the family because someone doesn't believe it or doesn't like that someone said it and can't believe they said it. And I think you've got the same thing in organisations.
Well, I can speak on the Jehovah's Witness community. Not specific.
Yeah.
Well, not specific. I'm just saying...
Well, I'll ask. So, have you seen some disharmony there, like this sort of thing where people
but there's
are not coming?
everywhere.
There is, but when it impacts other people,
sometimes I think XJWs are hard on themselves because
I think all trauma survivors are hard on themselves.
They come out of the JW community, and we were told that we were such a close knit brotherhood, and we were so well behaved, and we were just such good friends before you even met. It was amazing because you could go overseas.
Yeah.
Let me tell you the good stuff. You could go overseas to Germany, and if you'd organise to meet up with a JW, you would trust and go into their house and move in with them if you'd organise that for a convention or something.
Yeah.
And you'd start the friendship running.
Yeah.
Because you had everything in common.
Yes. We believed the
They
same
had the same
things down.
language.
Yeah.
So I think XJWs have this massive pressure where they feel they still have to maintain that afterwards.
Okay.
Like I think it breaks down obviously because they're trauma survivors, but I personally think when you see discord, it's normal.
I think so.
Like when you go on a page on, I don't know, gaming or something, a gaming Facebook page, you'll see people getting stuck into each other and being rude and being in discord and, you know, trolls and all the rest of it. So I think it's totally natural for there to be disharmony within any community because all humans...
Well, we're functioning. I think disharmony is okay. I think trolls and stuff is a different thing. I don't think that's acceptable or natural.
But what I'm saying is the disharmony, like they're not getting on, not having the same opinion. Not
it's
agreeing.
normal.
It's normal.
Yeah, it's normal because we all come from different worlds, different contexts.
But maybe if you have had recent trauma, you're a little bit more sensitive.
Absolutely. Or even if you're like we were talking about in our first shot in this series, that when I'm feeling in a hole, I'm significantly more sensitive. I'm hypersensitive to everything that people say.
Did I say anything today?
Absolutely you did. But I call you on it because that's how good of friends we are. I can do that and do it safely, knowing that even if it causes friction with us, we'll work through it because that's what we do. That's what we've always done. Yeah? And that's what makes our friendship so strong. So I think people need to learn from and part of that is, I think, because now these days this is a new thing for me in my healing process, is that I can actually verbalize. And so I've had to cancel an appointment for lunch for tomorrow with someone that I love dearly, but I'm just not there and I need a few days to hibernate so that I can sort through and make sense out of what's going on and just be without any pressure to have to put a happy face on and listen to people when I really don't want to. And I think it's only recently that I've become able to say, look, I know we have a catch up tomorrow. Is it okay if and like I was very honest with her, and I was greeted with absolute love from her, and that was perfect. But I have had other people who go, well, you're not giving me enough time, or you're not doing this for me and you usually would, and I don't think that's acceptable. And I then know that they're not part of my circle long term, because if someone has the courage to say, I'm not coping at the moment, I really need time out, people need to listen to that. But I think what happens is we force ourselves to put on the face for people, especially people who've been through trauma. We keep forcing it because we have to meet these exceptionally high expectations that we've set for ourselves, that we put into our head. Because if you're a functioning human being, this is how you behave. And I think when you're going through trauma or going through your healing process, I think at times it's okay for you to say, yeah, I'm not feeling this at the moment, I'm not coping, I need time out from it. And for people not to react aggressively, because I think when we keep pushing through, people become snappy with each other, and that's when discord happens, when people don't feel they're able to express their truth and say, I feel like crap.
And it's not, you don't have to maintain friendships with everybody. Like,
No.
as a witness, you had to. As a Jehovah's Witness,
Well, I think, to be honest, a lot of the stuff you say about the Jehovah's, I believe is true for most trauma survivors. Because most trauma survivors need to feel that they're validated and approved by other people. So they are people pleasers. Jehovah's Witnesses are people pleasers, yeah?
Yeah, but they haven't been through trauma. Or are they going through trauma?
I think some people would be, irrespective of whether
Is
they're
being
Jehovah's
controlled
Witness
a
or
type
not.
of trauma?
Absolutely. Remember
well,
we
then
talked
they're
in the
going
last
through
one, anything that takes away your own sense of autonomy and your own ability to make decisions or to express responses is causing some sort of discordance. I like that word, discordance in your life, yeah?
So, as they come out as ex-Jehovah's Witnesses, I think there's still that undercurrent of belief that they have to mimic their old life, where they have to accept everybody, but they don't have to.
Yeah, and that ties into identity again, because who are you? When you've learned a way of living, be it out of fear so you people please, or be it out of conditioning of this is how you behave with people, that's become who you think you are. And then when you're not in that environment anymore, well, you have to re-navigate the world as it is. You need to renegotiate as well what your place in it is.
Can we talk about people pleasing?
Sure.
How did Jehovah's Witness people please?
Well, I think in the sense that the aim for a Jehovah's Witness is to knock on a door to express their faith and talk about Jehovah. And so the idea is that you don't want doors slammed in your face, and you don't want the vitriol that comes from people when you knock on the door. So I think Jehovah's Witnesses, for the most part, have become quite good at assessing a situation, looking at what clues they've got, so they've got that in with people in the house.
Charisma.
Yeah, and that point of connection, because they're not doing it out of an innocent intent.
They're in a very awkward situation.
Absolutely. Where
And
they
they
believe
have
something
to-
strongly and they want to share it with people because they believe it's in people's best interests.
But they're approaching very personal spaces, and
Yeah.
to be able to do that, you have to be an exceptional people
You
person.
do. And you have to, you aim, I think all of us want to please people. No one wants to,
No,
you know, well, most people, and I would argue that if someone wants to cause disruption for people, that there's a trauma there, and that's the impact of it. Like, I think the online trolls have huge issues with not feeling powerful. I've started a site in my local area just to inform people about politics, and there was a girl who requested access to the page because it's a closed group, and instantly went on to attack me without knowing me and without me actually having posted anything yet, and except for what the page is about, which is to inform people about our democratic process and how government works. And it literally is, it's not a site where I put my opinion in any of the posts, in discussions we have underneath possibly, but even then they've been quite measured and not party political. And she fully attacked me, and it really took me aback because I thought, man, what did I do? I didn't deserve that. And I went straight into victim mode because I'm fragile anyway, and thought, maybe I don't want to be putting myself out there like this. And then I thought, you know, and I had another girl that I know who I've never met, but I know her through Facebook, who jumped in to defend me. And I just thought, yeah, you know what, this is actually okay, because this is bringing people together. And she ended up deleting herself from the group before she saw a lot of the posts that pretty much told her to do that anyway, not from me. But I don't think there's a place for that.
Page that you've made, because you know what, and it brings up the ex-Jehovah's Witness experience. We weren't allowed to vote.
Yes, I know.
So unless some witnesses were more clever and aware than I was, we totally shut off to what was happening politically, because we had no say in that.
Yeah.
So I came out when I was out of the Jehovah's Witnesses entirely not understanding the political system.
Oh, yeah.
Because we actually were taught to hate it. So I love that page, because you're starting to explain.
Well, I'm just explaining the bait. It's called Wollondilly Wise. It's
Plug.
well, not really.
No, but it's just an educational page that explains how the system
how Australian
works.
government works. We have a federal election coming up in Australia, and I know that at our state election that was a few weeks ago, a lot of people were saying that they're not going to vote for that person or that person because of the roads or because of something that has nothing to do with that level of government. And that annoys me, because you're not voting for the right people for that level of government. And I think when we're lucky enough to have a vote, we should respect that. So I do my research before elections. I'm a nerd. Always have.
Can I tell you, I'll be honest, when I first came out of Jehovah's Witnesses, I was so worried about voting.
Yeah.
Because it was so drilled into us.
Yeah.
About not voting, that the first time I think I copped a fine, not to vote, and then the next time, because I still didn't feel right, instead of copying the fine, I went there and just left it blank and shoved it in the box. I think I did that 2, maybe 3 years in a row, because I was so scared about voting still. It was so heavily impacted on me. And the fact that I knew nothing about it.
Yeah.
Had no idea.
Yeah.
Had to do research to
Well,
find
I guess
out.
that's it. You wouldn't know how it even worked or where to start. That's a good point. You're validating my page. I'm grateful for that.
That's a really important thing for Jehovah's Witnesses. I want to say this point is that they are historically really uneducated in the sense that they've got very low university, and that's a statistic I can show you.
Yeah.
They're very low.
Referring back to that comment made about how your statistics were wrong.
Income-wise, they've got they're on the poverty, like almost on the poverty line compared to other religions. I can show you statistics with that as well. And the other point is, because they have no political vote and no say, they cannot in any way affect their future. They are not being able to have a say by voting has an impact on their well-being. It's insane. Imagine this whole cohort of people not being able to persuade or have a say or choose who their leader is.
Oh, look, on that election day, there was, I remember one, I handed out for a candidate, and there was a lady, it was a female candidate that I was handing out for, and there was a lady walking behind her husband, and that's significant. And as she walked past us and he gruffed at us, she mouthed the words, "I'm sorry," to us. And that raised warning bells for me like you wouldn't believe. Because I just thought, oh man, that's not healthy. She's not in a good relationship. I think that sort of control of people and control of how people vote is very dangerous. We end up in a fascist state. I think it's sad. I think, God, that went off trauma, didn't it?
The trauma of voting.
It's an important right. It's a privilege.
So, thank you for watching us, and we hope you enjoy this channel. And we certainly enjoy talking.
Absolutely, we do. I enjoy working with you as well and talking to you, Renee. Yeah, I know. It's hard work. Raises a sweat. I go home traumatised. Jokes.
So you're not healing through this process.
No, I am. Well, it's more about helping other people see that whatever they're going through is normal.
Yeah, don't feel
That
alone.
there's no
Actually, that is
right
the
way,
first
there's
thing.
no
That's
wrong
why we
way.
started.
That
The
is,
thing
so we didn't want
was
people to feel alone.
Don't feel alone. Don't.
Because if there's no one else in your life that gets it, you've got us two crazies who might.
No, but the
Don't
point
know that they
is,
want to belong to our club,
if
but
there's nobody who gets it, it's because you haven't found the right
To
person
try.
yet. You got to try and reveal who you are. Let it go. Like, don't hide who you are. Talk to people.
yeah, you'll find the
somebody.
right people.
Find somebody to talk to and express who you are. Don't hide who you are, which is not healthy.
No, we might need to give some strategies next time for working on shame.
Okay.
We'll do that. Won't involve tapping because that would help, but Renee doesn't want to do it. She doesn't like my ooh strategies, even though they're successful and they work. What can I say?
On that note,
I might find someone that will tap.
a safe place.
Subscribe, like, share, comment, troll if you have to.
Okay, bye.